provide the special the special skills or expert skills to the other company. So a good example is accounting firm, the law firm, and other specialized skills like the engineers. So they also need to prepare their books of account. So you can start with the law firm. So we will go straight to have the format for the law firm, because when it comes to the FR for these specialized these entities, they only give you the question. They don't ask a lot of theory. Yeah. So for this one, we also need to have the income statement and the balance sheet. We also need to have the income statement and the balance sheet, or what we call statement of financial position. So let's have for the income statement. Let's have the income statement. So for income statement, we will start with the revenue. Start with the revenue, which will put XX. We can't. So revenue for this case is a cost charge to client. Cost charge to client. So if you charge cost to client, that is the revenue on their side. That is the revenue. If there is a administration of oath, that is also a revenue to them. That is also a revenue to them. Then from there we start now with they don't have the opening inventories and the closing inventory, the physical one, but they have the work in progress and the closing work in progress. These are some of their inventories. So you say less expenses. So we have the normal expenses here. We cannot list all of them. The expenses will be the same expenses: administrative, rent, salaries and wages, transport. All expenses, they are the same. They are the same. So only the revenue, you'll have that one and have this one. Then down here, after getting the profit, you have a work in progress. The work in progress, which will have, we call it WIP. That is, I can say, opening work in progress. Work in progress. And the closing work in progress. So whichever the way, you can adjust it down here, or you can adjust before the expenses. You can adjust before the expenses. Then you will have the balance sheet, which the balance sheet also will have the normal balance sheet. That is for assets and liabilities. For assets and liabilities. So maybe we can have an illustration that you can be able to see how it goes. I can see we have a question on August 2024. Question number 5. Question number 5. C. Question number 5C. So check August, question number 5, August 2024, question number 5C.
Hello?
Tumeipata?
Eh,
Okay. So the question is, the following transaction was extracted from the book of Kaigai and Kabanse Farm, but over practicing advocate as at 30th July 2024. So I hope Fidelis, umeipata the past paper?
ndio niko na pasupa ndio natafuta question.
The question August 2024, question 5C. Veronica, umepata past paper?
Nimeipata.
Okay, good.
Yeah, niko sawa nimepata.
Okay. So you have been given the trial balance, the cash at bank, you've been given client account and the office account. And then we have the asset, furniture and fitting, library, insurance, disbursement on behalf of the client, account payable, work in progress, 1st August 2023, client for the money held on their behalf, cost charged to client, communication expense, printing and stationery, rent and rate, salaries, drawings, capital. Additional information, number 1. We've been told incomplete work in progress which is the work in progress on 1st July 2024 was valued at 35.25. That is 3.525 million. And then depreciation is to be provided on at the rate of 20% per annum on the book value of the furniture and fitting and library books. So they need the profit of loss and the statement of financial position and the statement of financial position. So if you get in exam, the professional firm, you start with it because it is a straight questions called Kaigai and Kaban. Hii jina inasomwaje? Kabanse. Statement of profit P&L asset. This one is for the year ended that 1st July 2024. So we will start with the revenue, which we have said the revenue. We will have the 3 zeros. So kindly show that we have the 3 zeros here, so that examiner cannot penalize you for these zeros. So you will show that you have the 3 zeros. We start with the revenue. So our revenue there, we have seen cost charged to client. That is our revenue, cost charged to client. So that is the revenue. Revenue we put on this side, or we credit the revenue. That is how much? That's 7,500. That's 7,500. And then we have a work in progress. We said the work in progress, you can decide to start it before, after revenue, or you can even put at the end. So let's put the work in progress. So we will add the closing WIP. So when you say WIP is the work in progress, and most of the time it is there in additional information. So look at note number 1. Incomplete work on 1st July 2023 was valued 35. Easier. So we will pick the 3 zeros. Let's put it here. So we will pick 35.25 because we have cut 3 zeros here. And then we less opening WIP, which this one to get it in the trial balance. So check trial balance, work in progress on 1st August 2023. We have 55.20. So we subtract this 55.20. So let's have something like gross profit. So this plus this. So we have that is our gross profit. less expense, less expenses. So expenses most of the time you start with the additional information so that you don't forget. So what is our expenditure in additional information is the depreciation. Depreciation. We have been given the rate 20%, 20% of the cost. We only have the one asset, one non-current asset, that is furniture, fitting, and library books of 6750. So 20% of that, 20% of 6750, we get that as a depreciation to 1350. So after completing what is in the additional information, we go back to the trial balance, check if there's any expenditure. We start up there, cash, that is asset, furniture, insurance expense. So we put here insurance expense. How much? Insurance expense, we have 1275. So kindly don't copy my figures. Confirm with that the question if we are copying the correct figures. Sometimes tunaichukua different figures. Now, disbursement on behalf of the client, that is not an expenditure. Disbursement, when you pay something on behalf of the client, so that is not an expenditure. You disperse some money, cash, on behalf of the client, that is not an expenditure. Don't. Communication expense. Communication. Expense. How much is our communication expense? 5250. We go to printing and stationery.
No, communication expense is 2730.
27?
30.
Oh. These of 2750 is printing. So thank you for that correction. This is 2730.
Yeah.
Printing and stationery is now 5250. And then we have rent and rates and salary, rent and rates. Rent and rates, which is rent and rate, 9,000. Come to salaries. Salaries, 10,800 is drawing expense. Is drawing expense. Drawing is not an expense, it affects the capitals. So this is the total expenditure we have, and we have the total, we have a gross profit, so we can get the net profit. Can get the net profit here. The net profit, which is this minus this. So that is our net profit. You see this one in exam, it will take you only 3 minutes because I'm typing. That's why taking us some few minutes. But in exam, if you get such these questions, kindly start with it. Very simple. Any questions up to that point?
No.
I know maybe you are confusing this one. Why are we adding back this one and why are we lessing this one? So the reason why we are subtracting the opening work in progress, this was the closing. We are lessing this and this. It depends with the 1 year financial year. Remember, for this opening work in progress, the reason why we are lessing is that they have been accounted for in the last financial period as cost charged to client, but it was still ongoing. That's why we are subtracting. So after that, we have been asked to prepare the SFB, the statement of financial position. the statement of financial position. So you'll have Kaigai, statement of SFB, statement of SFB.
Question.
Yes.
What did you say about the disbursement of on behalf of clients and the clients for the money held on their behalf?
Okay, disbursement on behalf of the client. These are, remember, we have as a law firm, the client will give you an authority to maintain their cash. So you'll have an account for client, and also you have your own account. So anytime the client, maybe they have an agreement or maybe an agreement of selling a land, you realize they will deposit, the buyer will deposit money into your account as a law firm. So as a law firm, you will open an account for client, not your account, because that money it is not you, it is for the client. So once the client say that maybe they have done an agreement, they have agreed with their buyer, then now, as a law firm, you have a responsibility to disperse that money. So you see that disbursement, it is not expenditure, but it is the cash which the law firm has paid on behalf of the client. And then,
okay.
Yeah, client account, it is the same. So you hold money for the client, not yours. So it is a liability. It's like the bank. If you deposit cash into the bank, that money not belong to the bank, but the bank has to maintain account for you to show that you have been depositing this amount. Good. So let's have the balance sheet. So the balance sheet will start with the non-current assets. Our non-current asset, we have seen, we have the furniture and library books. Shortened like this, and library books. Now we record the net values in the balance sheet. So we will take the cost, we subtract the net, the depreciation. So the cost is 65.50, subtract the depreciation which we have charged here of 13.50 for us to get the net book value. 67.50 minus 13.50, get 5,400. Do we really have any other non-current assets? No. So go to the current assets. The current assets, we have cash. Cash at bank. Cash at bank, there are two. We have the client account. We will keep it also as an asset here, but we'll have to also account as a liability on the same. So client account Ngapi, that's 720. Office account. Office account is 83.55. What else do we have here? We have account receivable. Do you have account receivable? Didn't see account receivable. Payables.
We only have accounts payables, no receivables.
We said disbursement is an asset. Disbursement. If you pay on behalf of the client, not from there. You see, it is not this narration. If they said disbursement on behalf of the client from the client account, then it is not an asset. But we have not been told disbursement from the client account. We have been just said it is just disbursement on behalf of the client. So which means it is an asset to us. we have to claim back from the client. So we'll put here as a current assets. That is 35,500, 13,500. Now, WIP, work in progress, closing work in progress also, we recognize here. WIP coming up 35, 25. So get the total assets of the total current assets, and then take this plus this, we have the total assets. So this is our total assets. Is our total assets. And then we go to the equity and liabilities. Equity and liabilities. We have the capital. I've seen we have been given the capital. Capital of how much? 3,600. We less drawing. But if it is drawings of goods for the other financial statement, then it has to affect the income statement. But this one is just the drawing, so it will affect the capital. So we have drawings of 9,000, subtract 9,000, and then bring now the net profit, this one. So we will bring net profit here. Net profit of 100. And then we have the current liabilities, debentures, loan, not seen. So we go straight away to CL, that is the current liabilities. You said we have payables. So payable, account payable. Account payable. We put it here, 4080. Do you have the bank overdraft? Cash at bank client account. That one is a liability to you. It is a liability to you. You are holding money which is not belonging to you. So it is a liability to us. So we put that amount, that is 750.20. So get the total equity and add the total of current liabilities, so that we combine zote mbili, this plus this, getting this is total equity and liabilities. So we are done with the professional firm. So let me check if there is any other question I give you as an assignment. Kuna mwenye mahali hujaelewa unauliza.
Kuna 2022 question
December.
Question 4. 2022 question 4.
2022, which year?
August 2022.
August. Yeah. So this is good. S and M are advocates operating under the SM advocates. The firm trial balance for the year June ended 30th June 2022 has been given. So you have been given that trial balance. So it is the same thing we have done. This one, it has a work in progress, clients for money held on the behalf of the client, which is the same. Have we accounted that one for the other ones? Yeah. And then, so creditors, receivable, office expense, cash at bank, client account. So you realize the client for money held on behalf, it is on the credit side, that is 74,400. It is also the same value with the cash at bank, the client account. If you are keen, they are the same value. And then, so where there is a lot of challenge is additional information. These others are just the same. Number one, it is estimated that the debts amounting to 16.5 million are uncollectible and should be written off. Number two, the depreciation should be provided at the rate of 20% per annum on the books. That's number three, the incomplete work on 30th June 2022 was valued at 70.5. 10 marks for free. Ni wapi kuna challenge hapo kwa hiyo swali?
Kumbushe how to
Yes.
do your additional information one.
Okay, what is a bad debt? Is it expense or an income?
It's an expense.
An expense. An increase in expense, we do what? We go back to the financial accounting. Increase in expense, we debit. Decrease in expense, you credit. Another one, assets. Increase in assets, increase in assets, we debit, and decrease in assets, we credit as an opposite. Now, bad debt affect which account? Simply bad debt is these are the customers which at the end of the year they have not paid us. So instead of keeping them in our books of account, we decided to write it off. So it will affect the current asset account, which is account receivable. So what happened to the account receivable? What happened to the account receivable? We reduce asset because we are writing it off. So which means we are reducing our assets. So you will credit account receivable of that value, 16.5 million, 16.5 million. You credit that, and then P&L, profit and loss, you debit the same amount of 16.5 million. So ukikuja hapa kwa current asset, you will have the receivable, but you subtract that 16.5, and that 16.5, put it here as an expense. Fidelis, tuko pamoja sasa?
Yes.
So I give you that one as your assignment. It is an easy question, so there is no any challenge apart from that. Depreciation, we have already see how to treat the depreciation. The other one is the closing WIP. So the only adjustment which is new there is bad debt. If there was also a provision, so you also need to know, because financial reporting is all about the adjustment. If you know how to adjust bad debt, prepayments, accruals, depreciation, and provision for doubtful debt, then you are done with FR. So you'll do that.
Please repeat. I was writing it down so that I can go back to it later. You said you should know how to account for bad debts.
Yeah, bad debt, provision for doubtful debt,
Okay.
Depreciation. We have prepayments and accruals. Because those are the common one. You will not miss in any account for reporting. We'll have other adjustment, but those are the common ones you will not miss.
Okay.
So, yeah, we have done now with this professional firm. If you get the law firm, accounting firm, because I've not seen any past paper for the law firm, the accounting firm. If you get for accounting firm, it is the same. The income will be maybe the fee charged to client, and then to less expenditure, and then also you'll have the same asset. For accounting firm, we don't have the client account and service account. So that one will be a straightforward. I've not seen any question for that. That's why we test here. And then cooperative societies. Cooperative societies, can we see the cooperative societies? There are also direct questions for cooperative societies. You only need the income and expenses. Which question was tested on? Mko na past paper mpaka lini?